This conflict resolution tool comes from an elementary school principal that used it with students getting into conflicts with each other. We've adapted it for couple conflicts and we'll demonstrate the tool, then invite you to try it out for yourselves.
Lavern, can we do an SOS about how our anniversary dinner unraveled?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah. The action or the behavior I noticed was that when I had mentioned overspending at Red Lobster, that you became kind of quiet, and I noticed you were upset with it. And then the other action later, when couldn't find the $5, where you said, what is it about you and money? Those were two things that I noticed had happened.
So what really kind of struck you or affected you was these two actions of just my response to you when you were inquiring about the overspending, and then also not being able to find the $5, and then kind of blurting out, what is it about you and money?
Yeah, the emotions that I felt a little frustrated with the overspending at Red Lobster, but then I just felt some hurt and sadness when you said, what is it about you and money? It really felt kind of uncalled for.
So the emotions you felt were hurt, as well as some frustration. The frustration with, we had just kind of done our budget, and so the overspending, and then also me kind of blasting you with, what is it about you and money? That was hurtful for you.
Yeah, I think the deeper issues for me, I think one is just that commitment that when we do a budget together, that it's about the two of us, not just me or you. I think also respect that, I honestly didn't know where the $5 was, and it wasn't like I was trying to control that, but the comment made it seem that way. So probably commitment and respect would be the two issues.
So the deeper issues for you would have surrounded commitment, my commitment to this relationship and commitment to things that we had agreed upon, but also respect in the way that I was approaching you and just kind of attacking you and tearing down some things for you.
Now, I do take ownership, not communicating to you ahead of time what the gift certificate was, or maybe what I had expected in terms of being able to stay within that, and so I take ownership for that.
So it is something you take responsibility. So that's not what you're supposed to do in an SOS, but it's so easy to, with our tone, to get things off track, and that would be inappropriate here. So a better response would be, so you're taking responsibility for maybe not communicating with me how much was on the card, or what that expectation was about.
Yeah, what I want you to understand is, I want us to have a good time and to be able to go out while at the same time operating within what we've budgeted or allotted for doing that.
You want me to understand, you'd like for us to have a good time. You're not trying to, be Debbie Downer or anything like that, but to stay within some constraints.
Yeah, and I think I can understand from your perspective how you may have felt like I was being too restrictive, or that I was taking it upon myself to scold you, or to make you feel bad for having overspent.
You can see where I might have felt kind of scolded, or I was feeling disciplined by you.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one half of the story. Rhonda's been able to share her side of the story. So I'm going to abbreviate my side so that Rhonda won't be repeating back, but probably what I would say, or what I remember saying was, the thing that was upsetting to me was kind of the tone of being somewhat maternalistic to me. It was almost like my hands were being slapped. And the way that affected me was I felt kind of guilty at first. I felt then a little bit defensive about the tone, but then I also felt sad that our anniversary was kind of clouded over by this dark cloud. I think probably deeper issue would have been respect. If I know ahead of time what the expectations are, I'll live by those. And since I didn't have those, it felt somewhat disrespectful. I take responsibility for probably being the person that doesn't play as much by the rules, and if there's a rule to be broken, I'll find a way to do it. So I do take responsibility for that. I would want you to understand that I too want to enjoy our times together at dinners or any kind of events like that, but with also being responsible, maintaining a spending plan. I can see how, from your perspective, you felt we had worked on this budget and now it's broken, but I can also understand how you felt when I said, what is it about you and money? That really felt like an attack to you. So that's the story, and what we want to do is now move forward to a time of looking for some solutions. What are some options?
Yeah. I suppose one option would be I guess the extra spending will have to come out of your allowance.
Yeah. Could do a dine and dash, just try to head out of there as soon as we can.
Yeah, I'm not sure either of those are real good responses. I recognize we can't change what happened, but maybe before we go out to eat again, we just talk about, okay, what's within our budget, what have we allotted for that, and then that way we know ahead of time, what's expected.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's probably the best outcome. That'd be the best way to approach this going forward. And that's actually what we've done. This happened, 3 or 4 years ago, and I don't think we've had an issue since.
Yeah, we go out to eat. Okay, here's what we got. Here are the parameters that we stay within, and it definitely has gone much more peacefully.
So not all conflict situations are going to be able to be resolved maybe just quite that quickly. Some are deeper, they have deeper emotions, and you may need help. You may need a third party to just help you kind of navigate this conversation. But for those of you that are able to kind of get through an SOS, we wish you well as you do that. Okay, when you're ready, select one topic or disagreement or conflict. Each of you can then fill in your own responses below, then get started sharing them with each other.